Wow. So, welcome to whatever I'm going to call this. I have no idea what I'm going to call this, but we got to make it happen. So, let's give you some backstory, kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Because if you're watching this, you're obviously here because maybe you know me, or maybe you found it. Maybe, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how you found it, because this would be the first episode and I'm not really sure exactly how you got here. But, anyways, I decided to do a thing, and this is the thing. So, what is it? What is it going to be? Well, I'm still trying to figure that out. And one of the things that, I've been, I don't know, I bought this deck. I don't know, it's called, I was waiting in line. I was getting actually some other stuff, and it's like, Your Magic, right? Definitely not a plug. I'm not getting paid by these people, but it was interesting that one of the things that read the gist of it was anybody who does anything great starts before they're ready. And for me, sometimes I have to plan all this stuff out. I have to have a platform. I have to have, you know, a plan. And I don't really have a plan yet. But I think as I get into it, and this is kind of like what I do for work. Sometimes you don't really know how things are going to unfold until you get into the mix of it. And so this is me just jumping into the mix, doing a spike, kind of figuring out what the platform's going to be, what my camera angle is going to be, how I'm going to decorate this room. You'll probably see this over time kind of morph into something. But for some years now, people have been like, you have the voice for a podcast, or you should make content. Bro, be dropping wisdom. And, you know, and while that might seem a little humble of me, right? I think there's some stuff there. I think, I should listen to, people and kind of make some things happen. So there's a Mestreism, Mestre Georgie, shout out, whoop whoop, where he would say, let's mix happens. So we're gonna do that. We're making it happen right now. So let's talk about why I'm here right now, other than what I just told you, which is the beginning of the year. I put out some intentions. I think we do that every year, right? We do our New Year's resolutions, or we do something that nature. And for me, I think I started even before the new year, because the end of 2023, I had a bit of, I don't know, had some health stuff, right? That I wasn't really feeling right. And was on a mission to figure out what was going on. And I think that was a catalytic moment where I decided that I was going to make some changes, and I was just going to kind of start doing things that I haven't done or I need to do. And I'm a little older too, so I need to kind of do things now, right? So one of those things was, well, let's figure out how to make some content. Let's get online. And I mean, I've done this before in- when I went to university. I'm not afraid of being in front of the camera. I had to do it for my entire bachelor's degree and give little feedback every week. Actually, we had to do it every week. And I swear I wish I had the tools that I'm using now back then. But anyways, I digress. So one intention I put out, I need to get better at music. As you can see, I got some musical instruments. I got a mic and stuff. I produce music. You'll hear some of the music probably be on a bumper of this video, right? More in the background. Who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna dress this up. I don't know what you Saul getting into this, the intro of this video because I haven't even thought of that yet. But one of the intentions was to become better at music. And what do I mean by music? I mean singing, being able to remember lyrics. Oh, and you probably don't know this about me, but unless you do know this about me, but I participate in and teach a martial art called capoeira, Afro Brazilian martial art. And within that martial art, it's a martial art disguised as a dance, played as a game, right? And in order to disguise it as a dance, you need music. So every capoeirista ends up being some form of musician, whether they're an instrument. And the higher you go, the longer you're in it, you end up singing. Some people are more drawn to the singing aspect. I never was, I don't think I have a singing voice. But I feel like that's something that needs to change. So I put that intention out, and one of the goals I put out this year was to learn a new song each month, right? So we got 12 months. Now, the funny thing that I want to put out there is that once you start getting clear about your intentions and you put those out there, the universe does tend to conspire. And I firmly believe that. I think, this is one of the things the type of stuff that I'll end up talking about is, of course, law of attraction, hermetic principles, manifestation, talk about magic. We'll talk about philosophy. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about capoeira. We're going to talk about, you know, mind hacks, affirmations. We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff because those are the things that come up in my day to day. And I feel like there is a possibility I can add something to the space. I know that this is out there. I mean, that's what I watch YouTube for. That's what I see these little short form clips that are little nuggets of wisdom. But I also end up giving those nuggets of wisdom often to my friends, and usually just at the right moment. As a matter of fact, I believe that was something that happened today. So, anyways, I put out that intention to get better at music, and lo and behold, I did that at the beginning of the year. Lo and behold, I was asked to do a presentation at a festival that didn't actually happen because we got rained out. But me being me, I put in some work and produced an entire backing track that was like 15 minutes long. And within that, there was this one song that I felt pretty comfortable singing. But after listening to the track for a while, I realized, oh man, I don't know if I can sing the same song for 10 minutes. I think people will get a little bored of that. So I ended up singing another song that I'm pretty comfortable with. But then, you know, this is on a recording. It's going to be played over a PA system, loud, right? And so I really dug in to perform well, to work on my voice. And, it's funny that it got rained out, but in the guys that invited me, the DJs, they're all kind of bummed out. But really, when it came down to it, I was like, oh, well, it got me back into recording. And, I didn't tell them all of this, but actually, I had to learn it. I had 3 songs that I sang. And the third one, at least on the performance track, was a song that I've never sung before. So there we go, right? There's one song down for this year. I had 10 more to go, right? But it's interesting once you're clear with your intentions, how the universe does conspire. I do believe that. And one of the other things that I set an intention out to do was to start making content for the interwebs. And guess what? One of my friends who makes content for the interwebs calls me over for picanha. And, that's it's like luring a crackhead with a big rock, for me at least, because I can't say no to picanha. So go over. And he shows me, and he being Da Vinci, what up? Thank you for this. This is because of you, so thank you. he shows me a software that just makes sense. And that was like, okay, that's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to, I'm actually going to do this. So this is where we're at. So this is the first episode. And if you've stayed this far, thank you. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a good journey. I think it's going to be interesting what comes out of here. And I'm going to have people on. I already have an idea of some people and what we want to talk about. But again, it's things like things the metaphysical, philosophical, things that make you think, things that may make you laugh. I love dad jokes, you know, and really just how to see the lessons within the daily life. And I think that I'll leave it with one thing. Yeah, I like as mentioned, I do train and teach capoeira, and the group that I'm in, Capoeira Angola Pomares, the founder of the group, his name is Mesterino, and there's one thing that he's known for saying. It's capoeira na roda, capoeira na vida, right? And the reason why he's known for saying that is because it's very powerful. And anybody who practices capoeira for a while will find that there are many lessons, many metaphors within the game, within the practice, the art that will mirror or echo into the macrocosm of life. And so that's, we're gonna identify those things, talk about those things, and just have fun exploring. So again, if you've made it to this point, thank you. And I look forward to doing this journey together. So I'll see you around.